Okay, it looks like we're live. Yes, we are live. It says we are live. So, greetings. This is Top Cat Jimmy here at Cool Cat Recording Studios. And this is actually the very first time I've done a live stream directly on YouTube. I've done live streams via StreamYard before, and I would send them to multiple places YouTube, Facebook, whatever, what have you. So, anyway, here we is. And now, what do I do? I'm sharing. Since this is my first time, I've got to make sure that I'm going to be doing this right. So, Jiminy Cricket. Okay, so let's go over here. Yeah, this is what I want to do. So you just seen my live stream studio there. Like I said, this is my first time I've done it from Facebook Live. So anyway, this should be showing now. This should be my Reaper DAW is showing, right? So I use Reaper DAW. And I've got some really great news, guys. I've had this song called Rockin' the Honky Tonk Heaven since 2017. Then I did a re-rendition in 2018. I didn't like the lead guitar effect. That was the way it came out. So I redid it in 2018, and it came out worse. But when I redid it in 2018, I thought, you know what, this song needs a lap steel guitar in it or a pedal steel guitar in it. And I searched high and low for a pedal steel and lap steel, pedal steel and lap steel, okay, VST. Now, I found one early in 2018. As a matter of fact, I found three. One is by Orange Tree. One is by another third party, such as Orange Tree. And then there was Ubershell. That's a German made VST, pedal steel. Now, the Orange Tree is lap steel. I believe the other third party is lap steel. But here's the problem with that, is that the price was fair for the VST itself. They're like $80, okay, for the VST, which is not bad. However, those two other third-party VSTs, Orange Tree and the other one, I'm not certain who it was now, they work and they're compatible only with the full paid version of Kontact, which is, that alone is $400. All right, it's $399. I checked the price last night. So in 2018, I noticed that it's only compatible with the full paid version of Kontact, and they weren't even real clear about that. It just said the full version. And so finally, I've clarified that as of last night, because when they said full version, I'm thinking, I don't have the full version, but I did download the free version. I don't know if that was as a result of that or what have you, but I knew it said it would not work except for the full version. And I automatically knew that I don't have the full version. I've got the free version. That's not going to be full. So it's not going to work in that, obviously. But I finally found the answer to the price of it last night. Probably didn't look far enough the first time back in 2018. But $400 today, okay? And I'm sure it wasn't that far off back then. It might have been $300, you know? So the thing of it is, that's $400 and now $500, all right? If it's $400 for the full paid version of Kontact and then $80 for that, it's $480, $479 plus tax. You're saying $500, right? $500 to be able to obtain one VST that I only have one song for. Now, in the future, I may have more songs, and I probably would, had I had the VST, would create more songs to be able to use the lap steel VST in. Because I do multiple genres, okay? I just like doing my music that way. So I'm sure I would have found use for it in the future from there. But there's no way that that I was going to go. I knew that they wanted me to buy the full paid version of Kontact. I'm not sure. Maybe perhaps I did have the price. I did find the price, but I said, well, first couple of things going on. I'm not going to pay. They probably want a lot of money for it. I'm not going to pay it. Had I clarified what it really cost or not, but still I knew it was going to cost some money. And number two, okay, my philosophy in music is I attempt to keep it as simple as possible, and I don't like clutter, and less to me is better. Simpler times make for happier times, okay? So I will find what I need and I'll use it. My music's full, I've got a wide range of variety of genres, different songs. The songs are full, full orchestras and bands and what have you. I'm able to manage, because there's plenty of free VSTs out there, etc. However, there's no way. I didn't want to buy the Kontact full paid version. I didn't really want it in my computer, taking up the CPU. All right. I didn't want it taking up my memory, although I have an external hard drive of 3 terabytes besides my 1,000 gigabytes of memory on my computer. I just didn't want all that. It's just that much more to have to deal with. It's like, and as well as I do, computer-based software is tricky. So I've been using computer for 20-something years now, so I'm pretty proficient with the computer, but I also know that it takes one mistake to do a fell swoop of messing things up, on the computer. But I finally got the confidence and the desire to start using software to record in 2015, though I've been recording since 2010. Okay, and I was using hardware and other stuff like that, Tascam DP24, what have you. But now that I used software, I just really didn't want all that download in my computer from Kontact anyway. All right, and I wasn't about to pay the money. So this has been a 5-year quest. Well, 2017 to now is 5 years. If you look at it, 2018, when I thought I'm doing the re-rendition, I need the lap steel now in this song. I'm doing the re-rendition and I'm searching that. You think of that, 2018, 19, 20, 21, and 22 has been a total of a 5-year quest. Though I set it aside, that quest I set aside for a few years. But as of recently, I've got back into it. Now, when I first took up the quest, that's when I found out about Orange Tree and the other third-party maker of the lap steel guitars, VSTs, and then having to buy the full full version, paid version of Kontact. That was in 2018. 2019, before I move on to recently, 2018 also, I guess, or 2019, I found out about Ubershell. They have a pedal steel VST, and you just have to download their player. And I'm like, okay, great. I didn't really grasp when I read it. Since then, I've gone back to it and looked at it again on their website. It's only loops. There's only loops. Okay? They have pre-recorded loops, someone else playing the lap steel, and they give you a 10-second loop. And it's not a playable VST. Okay, so I paid $50 for that. Really can't use it. Never used it. Ain't gonna use it. They give you some other bells and whistles with it, some other instruments with that in the player and all the whole 9 yards. But I wanted the lap steel, so I'm not really using the Ubershell at all. It's there. If I want to use it, I can in the future. I don't foresee using their pedal steel pre-recorded loops. I may use some of their drums and this and the other. I don't know. We'll see. I never have to this date. I don't know if I ever will, because I've got plenty of other stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? I got other VSTs that I could use and whatnot. So the thing of it is, okay, well, close but not quite. So last week, I stumbled upon a song of mine of 2017 that I didn't know I recorded. I found it and I said, you know, it needs to be finished. It was already actually finished from beginning to end, but I wanted to add, there's only a couple tracks. It was just a short piece, and so I wanted to add a few more tracks to it, and that would be done. Okay, now that's 2017, I realized after I looked at the properties. Somehow that brought me back to my song Rockin' the Honky Tonk Heaven of 2017. That put me back on the quest to finding my goodness, to look for again, look again for a freestanding, playable lap steel or pedal steel guitar VST that I do not have to buy Kontact for, that I can use it just in my DAW as a standalone VST, not necessarily a standalone piece of software. I can use it in my by bringing it up in my computer without using the DAW, which we do have certain plugins for things like that, you know, guitar amps and stuff like that, software you can use as standalone in your computer or use it in your DAW. Now this, guess what I found last night? I looked again and I researched on Google pedal steel or lap steel VST. All right. Well, lo and behold, up on the Google search, saying under all, I see, you know, listed two videos. One said ample sound lap steel VST. I clicked on the video, opened up the window, and opened up the link in another window, viewed him, and he's playing, but he doesn't give any details really much, and it's not bending. There's no bends in there, so he's not really playing it right, you know. And I said, well, okay, thank you, because at least now that brought my attention to there's an ample sound I've never seen before, VST on the lap steel guitar. Which then I seen another video underneath that listed, and I opened up that video in another window in YouTube. This guy, he could play the keyboard. He could play the MIDI. He was proficient at it. And he was doing the bends. That is the character of the lap steel. You do the bends, right? And I'm like, that's it. That's what I want. So ample sound once again, but once again, he didn't say, neither one of them said. And then my question was, do I need the Kontact full paid version for this or don't I? What do I need? They didn't go into detail about that. I really wasn't patient enough to go through their total videos, both of them. They did not have it listed in the subscription. So as I'm doing this live video right now, live stream, I'm realizing I didn't put anything in the description either. So I'm going to have to put something in the description. I meant to. I looked for it, then I forgot, slipped my mind. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the description. And so I'm going to tell you now on this video that, folks, I got some great news. Okay, number one, it is ample sound lap steel guitar is indeed, okay, an authentic sounding lap steel VST, number one. Number two, it is freestanding. You do not need Kontact full paid version for it at all whatsoever. You don't even need Kontact for it. What it is for ample sound, you'll download their installation manager, their engine. There's like 4 things to download. All right, you get the manual, the PDF. That's one thing, but then you got the main things are they're going to give you 3 other things to download. All right, and so you put them in your folders. One of them they're going to insist on putting in where I think it's the start menu. So like when you do the downloads, like I do, I download it into there, which is downloads. All right. But then in downloads initially, but then I'll set it up to where when I go to open them all up and run them and everything, and you go to assign them, I like to put them all. They'll want to go to program files, and then they'll want to put them all your different folders and program files. I don't do that anymore. I don't send things to Steinberg VSTs and this. I don't have them create multiple folders for me or send them to different folders. I'll create a folder for any particular thing I'm downloading, like Ample Sound, and then I'll have everything go into that folder. Everything that I'm doing, all the other downloads and openings I'm doing, will go into that particular folder. But it turns out that they insist on making sure. So if you're going to do this, okay, like I did, so I ended up creating two folders. One both in program files, but one separately from the other on another opening, download and opening, or opening and download, and I should have put that as well. Though they're two different downloads, I should have put that as well in as a subfolder in the one main folder, because it had all the samples in there. And so when I went to open this up, it didn't have the samples in it. So it's like, okay, I know what to do. All right, so I basically left that alone. I just took what was in there and copied and pasted it to the other one. So I don't want to be messing with this too much. You know, this is surgery. Don't want to be messing around too much. So I left both in there. But I copied and pasted over to here. I did add all those folders in my repertoire to make sure. But it seems like because I took the ones out of when they wanted to do the other one of Ample Sound, and it's the Ample Sound library, I went to put that in the program files as well, but it seemed to insist on keeping it over here, and it's where it wanted to create the folder. And when that happened, now this all worked for me. I was able to bring up the lap steel VST on the DAW, but it didn't have the sounds in there. It didn't have any samples in there whatsoever. I was hitting, it says error, no samples in here, no nothing. I was hitting the keys, but there was no sound coming out. So what I did was go ahead and leave those there, but I also took those, and I believe I copied and I pasted over to the other folders. So this is one reason why I don't like having to deal with downloads. Now, I just downloaded also last week for the first time, and I've known about these guys for a few years now, Christian Henson and Guy Michael Moore in the UK, about Spitfire audio. Now, Guy Michael Moore will talk a lot about Spitfire. He uses them and stuff, but he's a separate producer. But he probably knows Christian Henson, and Christian Henson, all these guys, that they have the BBC orchestra. You know, they're recording in that studio there in Britain and the whole nine yards. And Spitfire audio, Christian Henson is really the front guy for that. I finally downloaded all that, and I downloaded everything into the same folder of program files that they had, and everything worked out perfectly. So I'm just saying that however you do this, just be cautious. Make sure everything's going to show up in its proper places, because there are 3 different main things you got to download. And then you can download the 4th thing, which is the PDF manual. But, however, also once you do that, okay, I've got a phone call. Oh, great. Excuse me. I can't answer right now. Jesus. Okay, so I'm just going to say, go to Ample Sound, and then click on, it's going to be right here. It's going to be right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. And Jetson Lap Steel David Gilmour model. And here it is right here. Right here, and then here is my, yes, it's only $89. Okay, it's the only one out there that I have found that exists at all whatsoever. There it is. So let's play. heard of yourself. So you got the bends. So look up the YouTube videos of the other two guys. You'll find them if you search on YouTube for Ample Sound. They'll show you more about this. I went through all the settings and everything, and check it out. All right, and the Lord Jesus bless you. Sayonara, and you get ship show. Hasta la bye bye. This is Jimmy. I'm probably one of the first people to tell you this. Okay, not the only person, but one of the first. And yes, we finally have a standalone. It does not have to go into Kontact or anything else, and it's great. It works good. It's great. Oh, there is another one too. It's $179, and I'm trying to think of who that is that did it. You know what? I'll post a video about that too. I haven't bought it, but I will also post a video about that. This is Jimmy signing off. I have to go. Got some other things to take care of. And so, thanks for tuning in. I say this, Lord Jesus bless you. Sayonara. On get ships you. Also, bye-bye. This is Jimmy signing off. Catch you on the flip side. Bada boom, bada bing. You know what I mean? I'm out of here. But not really. All right. Have a good day. Cheers. Now, how do I...